Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. Today you are joining me where I'm going to be doing G Willikers Part G of my CD collection. Right, so there's a few things I want to get out the way first. It's very windy outside. It kind of makes this feel like I'm in a haunted house or something. Kind of suits that album cover. Ooh. So if you see a lot of, or hear a lot of wind noises, then apologies for that, can't be helped. I'm not God. I can't stop the noises outside. But never mind. As well as that, a few updates for you guys. I'm going to start, since I'm getting decently through these alphabet-sized CDs, I'm going to be making a playlist so you can see all of them in alphabetical order very easily. So throughout the times that I do these updates, hopefully from A to Z, you can watch all of them very easily if you ever wanted to watch all 26 parts. Yep, you'd be like me, number one fan then. Anything else? Yeah, you might notice that I've updated the thumbnails as well. I think these look a bit more professional, so cool stuff. So, anyways, let's go on to G, yeah? First off, you'll notice that I'm going to be covering the band that this guy was originally in a bit later, but as well, I'm going to be talking a bit about Peter Gabriel with his album So. So, what do I think of this album? It's really good new wave sort of pop rock music, a bit progressive pop in it as well. Peter Gabriel, mainly known for his earlier 70s solo material. You'll probably know a few of his earliest stuffs like Salisbury Hill. That was a big hit, especially in the UK. But here in the 80s, he made a few more poppier cuts. And because of the good old MTV era, he ended up making one of the greatest music videos of all time, Sledgehammer. If you surely have seen that video, but remind yourself if you can't remember from just me saying Sledgehammer music video what it is. It's just genius. It's still so well done even to this day. I mean, I'm saying I used to own Peter Gabriel albums. It's weird to say because he made like, I think 4 albums that are just called Peter Gabriel. I mean, I used to own, I don't know where it is, the first Peter Gabriel album and the one where it's him leaning against a car window. I don't know where they've gone, but I think this is probably still my favourite because of Sledgehammer, but it also contains one of my favourite 80s cuts ever, Don't Give Up with Kate Bush, which is a beautiful song. But there's a lot of great tracks on here. In fact, I'm pretty sure if I recall correctly, there's a little addition of good old Laurie Anderson, who I've mentioned a bit earlier too. But we're going to go back to the 60s here. This lady is France Gall, I think, or Gail maybe. She was a French sort of pop artist, and if you know your French music, then you might call pop, especially this sort of sunshine pop, ya. So it's very oddball, quirky pop music. Maybe some people might find it irritating, but I find it's got a lot of charm. This is Baby Pop, the album's called, and the song Baby Pop was a pretty big hit for her. There's the first track on here as well, and I think that's a good deciding factor whether or not you'll enjoy this, because it's got the pretty screechy vocals and the kind of, like I say, oddball, but I really enjoy it. It's a very short listen, but very pleasant. It's just fun, carefree music. So I recommend Baby Pop. She's made other well-received albums too, but this is the one that I own in my collection at least. If you know your shoegaze music, so My Bloody Valentine, Slow Dive, sort of the main popular ones, at least known as classic, you might have also heard of Galaxy 500, who sadly only ever made 3 albums, but all 3 are absolute classics. So the sort of shoegaze, more slowcore, dream pop, they're just they're all really, really great music. They're all really good songs. They're all really good albums, and I own two of them. It's annoying because I own the first and the third one, so I'm missing the second one, which is the one that most people go to as the best Galaxy 500 album. And I haven't heard it yet, so I look forward to that when I come around to buying it. So we've got Today, which is the first album by them. This has a bit of a, I think it was either a hit or as a single, Tugboat, which is really good. I love Flowers and Parking Lot, and these two disc things have like bonus tracks on them. So this has Uncollected, so a lot of B-sides and such like that. Very interestingly, they cover Cheese and Onion, which is a song by the Ruttles. If you haven't heard of the Ruttles, look into them if you like the Beatles. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. Bye. First one and the third one, this was the first one I bought, if that makes sense. This is Our Music, and this is really good too. It's a lot more sleepier than the first one. That's a bit more janglier. This is definitely a lot more dream pop, but this has as a second disc too, Copenhagen, which is a live album, and on there they cover a Yoko Ono song technically called Listen the Snow Is Falling, and it's a beautiful cut, really, really nice. It's also on the main album too, but I prefer the live version. I don't know why. 4th of July is a great song on here. Here She Comes Now is really good too, their version of that. Hearing Voices is really nice too. I think I prefer Today a bit more. It's the one I go to a bit more, but this is still really good, and I look forward to listening to their second album when I get round to it. Alright, one of my favourite albums ever, Gang of Four's Entertainment. This is dance punk, art punk music. It's extremely political, this album, but it doesn't derive the fact that it's also extremely fun and catchy and quite strange as well, especially for when it was created. Some of the most catchy songs I've ever heard is on here. Like my favourite tracks are Not Great Man, Damaged Goods, most people's favourite on here. I think it's good too. Guns Before Butter is so catchy as well. Glass is brilliant. At Home He's a Tourist. There's so many. Anthrax as well. It's one of those albums where I at least really like all of the songs, but this is still top 50 ever for me. Again, since it's in my top 50, I'd say it doesn't matter what sort of music you're into, I would recommend this. It's a masterpiece. So we're going from Gang of Four to another gang here. We've got Gang Starr. So I own 3 records by these guys. More prominent there, I think they went from the late 80s to the very, very start of the 2000s. So it's a 2-piece. There's DJ Premier, who's one of the most legendary hip-hop producers of all time, and Guru, who, as a rapper, you don't expect him to be very interchangeable with his flows, but always expect extremely solid lyrics, and the flows that he does use, whether or not it's quite repetitive in the albums that he makes, are still really good and just really solid. But it's basically, you can't go wrong with any of their albums. So I own 3 of them randomly. 2 of them I got very cheap, and one of them I went out my way to get because I know it's supposed to be one of the best ever. I think this is the first one that I bought by them, so it's the one that I've listened to the most. And then for £1 I got Daily Operation as well. But most people's go-to for a suggestion for an album by them is Moment of Truth. So this was made in 97 or 98, I think. And this is 20 tracks long, but again, it's just, there's no bad cut. All really good songs. So like I say, I've got 3 albums by them, but they did make quite a few albums in the discography. But my favourite song by them is probably I'm the Man. Pretty rocking. So yeah, Gang Starr, if you like old school hip hop or just hip hop in general, you've got to check out Gang Starr if you haven't already. Every once in a while I always come across an album that I find is quite hard to talk about, not because I find it difficult to say what I like about it, or if it's a bad album and I enjoy it in a rather strange manner, but it's the total opposite. It's an album that is so universally praised, there's not much additional content I can give you guys that you wouldn't be able to find better on the internet just looking into it. But I'm talking about Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. This is one of the first albums I bought when I was really starting to get into music, and it's wildest since the day I've heard it, which is probably about 10 years ago. It's just beautiful music. I'll give you my favourite tracks. Of course, the song What's Going On, Mercy Mercy Me. A lot of them just mean a lot to us. Like whenever I just put it on, it just puts us in a better place of time. I've also got Let's Get It On too, which is also an excellent album. But if you've never really gotten into your soul music, this is like the album to start off with. What's Going On, man, is just, that's brilliant. I'll have to listen. I haven't listened to it for a while now. I'll have to go back at some point. So as promised, yeah, so Genesis. Just a quick question for you guys who were sort of 80s kids. Did any of you think, especially when Genesis was still really popular thanks to Phil Collins, did any of you think, Genesis is a video game company, but they've also got a band too? That's weird. Right. I would end up thinking that for some reason. Like, where's the Nintendo band? No. So anyways, this is Foxtrot. I've only got 2 albums by them. I used to have more. Again, one of those things where I don't know where the hell they've gone. I used to have The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. I've definitely got Nursery Crimes. I don't know where that's gone. If you guys have seen the scene in Top Gear, I can't remember which special episode it was, where they rig Richard Hammond's car so it plays on loop Genesis's album, which one is it? Is it Selling England for the Pound? I think it's that album. They just have that on loop all the time. And Richard Hammond goes, I hate that bit, because it's all like, in the land of the flaky and the hawk and the hag and the hey and the ho, and then the elf came out and the hoppity hoo, and it's like all stuff like that. I'm really picky with my progressive rock, and I do quite like Genesis, but there's only so much of that sort of stuff I can take. That's why I'm funny on my power metal as well. It's just too much for us sometimes. That's why I used to own a Gentle Giant album called Octopus, and I couldn't get into it because it was too much. It was just too much. It's hard to describe, but it doesn't matter. But I still enjoy quite a bit on Foxtrot. This is the first album I ever bought by Genesis. I think it's still, even though it's progressive rock, there's a lot to it, which I think is still really catchy. Like especially Watcher of the Skies, the drumming on that's brilliant. Getting Out by Friday is catchy too. And Supper's Ready is a masterpiece, despite its length. It's really well done. I think it's one of those things where like I like progressive rock, where yeah, it's obviously progressive, but it feels like they're actually doing stuff, not just noodling about. And I'm just like, get on with it, man. But even with Supper's Ready, which is a 20+ minute track, there's always stuff going on, and I'm like, okay, it makes sense why that's there. It's not like the band just randomly go, right, for 3 minutes, guys, just have a piss about with the instruments, all right? I'm like, okay, get on with it, man. Sound like an absolute nutcase, I know. So, and then we've got A Trick of the Tail too. I think this is when it began the Phil Collins era, but it's still very progressive rock-ish. So Madman Moon's really good. A Trick of the Tail, the song. Robbery, Assault and Battery. Dance on a Volcano. So yeah, I do own Selling England by the Pound on vinyl. There's a few other albums, like I say, that I used to own, but no idea where they've gone. This is another sort of emo pop album, a bit like Bad Astronaut. This is the Get Up Kids. This is really, really nice music in my opinion. A lot of you might put it on and you think it's whiny and saccharine, but there's something about it where I just feel really free and youthful about it. And there's just something really empowering to it too. Especially, even just the first track, Holiday, there's something about that. It's just great, man. It feels like I'm in a 90s teenage themed sitcom or something, but like a edgy one. And it's hard to describe. Sometimes, like I say, you might just put something on and it's just not your cup of tea. A bit like progressive rock, but this just works for me when I listen to it. I love this album. Got a couple of albums by Ghostface Killah of Wu-Tang fame. This is, I think, his first and second one, I'm pretty sure. So I got Iron Man, and then Supreme Clientele. Yeah, so in terms of my favourite Wu-Tang members, they're all very diverse, of course. That's what makes Wu-Tang so special. In terms of lyrics, I think Ghostface has probably been my favourite lyricist out of the members. He's got a lot of songs on here, on both of these albums, where the balance between, you know, hard hitting and something that you can rock your head to, but you can really sit down and really pay attention to the lyrics, and you can get a lot of it because he's very lyrically dense, which is what makes him so good as an MC. But both of these you kind of go wrong with, and just on Apple Music I've gotten Fish Scale, so one day I'm gonna sit down and listen to these two and then put on Fish Scale just so I get a lot more familiar with Ghostface's output. Pinata. At first it surprised us a bit because I was still dipping my toes into hip hop, and Freddie Gibbs, he's got a bit of a naughty mouth. He needs to wash his mouth out with soap on this because he does swear. He does a lot of effing and jeffing on here. And I remember when I was listening to this, I was like, I can't play this out loud because my parents will tell us to switch it down. And then I got myself a good pair of headphones and that was sorted out. Yeah. Or I could just move out the house. That'd be good too. But it was when I really started getting into Madlib's production, which is beautiful. It's really lush music on here. It's gangster rap, but it feels really thematic because, again, the instrumentals are just so well done. It's a modern classic in my opinion. The song Deeper, High, Thuggin', Ropes, Lakers, the last track. Oh man, I could just put this on any time of the day and I just really enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it as much, but I did enjoy the new album with Freddie Gibbs and Madlib. I thought it was pretty good, but I think they haven't beaten this quite yet. Pinata is a brilliant modern day gangster rap classic in my opinion. So this is Girls in Hawaii. This is an indie pop group, pretty underground, but I really enjoy them. It's very breezy music, very sort of carefree, but a lot of really good tracks on here. The Ship on the Sea at the last track, Catwalk I really like. The first track, 9 AM, is really nice too. Time to Forgive the Winter's really good. Casper, forgot about that track, that's really nice too. Yeah, if you like your indie pop music, check out Girls in Hawaii. This isn't as carefree. I'm talking about Godspeed You Black Emperor. And yeah, if that's the first time you've heard about... You hear that? See, that's the thing, I keep thinking someone is posting something, or if it's just the wind. Bear with us. No, that wasn't the postman, it was just the wind fooling us again. Damn you, wind. Old man shakes fist at cloud, yeah. Yeah, so Godspeed You Black Emperor. What I was about to say was... Hang on. Is that better? You can see it's good now, right? Oh, shit. No! Ghost! No! Oh. Shoot. How am I going to get that? Are you seeing this? Look at that. How am I supposed to get that? Oh no. I think I just killed Ghost. The ghost is going to turn into another ghost. Anyways, I'll get that later. What I was trying to say was, if that's the first time you've heard of the name Godspeed You Black Emperor, you're going to think that's a real cool band name, and they're a real cool band. My head's everywhere now. If you go on the internet and you look into internet acclaimed albums, you'll probably have recognised this album cover at least. This is Lift Your Skinny Fist. This is Lift Your Skinny Fist Like Antennas to the Sky. Is that right? Lift your skinny fist like antennas to heaven. Idiot. How could I not know that off the top of my head? I'm sorry, everybody. This is an album which is post-rock music, and I'm talking a bit about how Pinata made you feel like you were in a blaxploitation movie. This just feels like you're in a post-apocalyptic road movie, and just it's depressing and it's very moody music, but it's very cinematic and it's very beautiful too. I'm talking about that as well as Yankee XYO, I think it's called as well. And I was really proud of myself when I bought this new as well. What's this one called? Hallelujah, Don't Bend, Descend. Yeah, I thought I was real cool buying this when it came out. I thought, I'm a real music nerd now. Woohoo! Why would the band take a photo of that? Like, imagine they're on tour and the bus driver goes, oh shit, I just ran over a bird. Well, hang on, pull over to one side, we'll take a photo of that. That could be in the album, great. Yeah, but despite that, it's really good music. Yeah, it's it could be a bit of a patience tester, I assume, because it's music that you couldn't just put on the background. I'd say this deserves good headphones and you just get lost and you're like, the world is about to end. The world is about to end. So pretty suitable about the state we're in at the moment, yeah. I'll put the camera a bit down there so I can look like an idiot trying to fish it out. There's pipes on each side that are blocking it, so I can't push it over. Yeah, this'll work. This didn't do anything. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna move my chair here, okay? And we're gonna pretend that didn't happen. I'm gonna pretend that didn't happen. I'm gonna leave this chair here, just so that if anyone ever walks through this door, they don't happen to look down there and see the mistake that I've made. Because that's what you've got to do with life. You've got to hide from your mistakes. That's a lesson for you, all right? Anyways, let's go and talk about Gorillaz. So, ages ago, I had a discography sort of review on my old channel, and it's way out of date now because they're not only have they made 2 albums, they might make another album with those singles that they've been releasing too. So I could update you guys a bit more on my opinions of Gorillaz. So I could update you guys a bit more of my opinions of Gorillaz, but honestly, in terms of the albums that I talked about whenever I did a couple of years ago now, they probably haven't changed my opinions. So yeah, just go on my old channel and just look at my opinions there basically. So the debut self-titled, G-sides, Demon Days, D-sides, Plastic Beach, The Fall, and well, I've got Humans. Never got to talk about this one obviously because this came out afterwards. So if you subscribe to my old channel or maybe found out about me because of that review that I made, that discography review, and you want to see some updates, Humans I'd probably put, if I was to rank all of these, at the bottom, to be honest. I really don't go out and listen to this too much. It's got, I think, some of the worst Gorillaz tracks on here. Sex Murder Party is, I have no idea what the hell they were thinking of when they made that. In fact, I think a lot of the tracks in the second half I just barely listened to, which is a shame. It's the first half I think is really solid. I love Moments. My favourite song probably is Charger with Grace Jones. I think that's brilliant. But those are probably my favourites and the ones that I really return to a lot. Yeah, it's a shame. And yeah, I know I'm also missing the latest album that they released as well. If you guys, I don't want to say it's put us off listening to new Gorillaz material, because especially the new singles, man, they're brilliant. Aries is phenomenal. Probably my favourite track that's came out so far this year. So I'm still on the Gorillaz bandwagon, but I just never really listened to that new album that they made that frequently. So if you guys, I can't remember what it's called, it's annoying us. I envision the album cover, I know a few of the tracks on it, but what's it called again? I can't remember. Doesn't matter. But anyways, if you're a Gorillaz fan and you recommend that I try out that newish album, then let us know. This is another one of those albums that I found for £1 at HMV. This is a death metal group called Grave. Awesome album cover. Reason why I picked it up, basically. Sometimes you should judge an album by its cover, or book by its cover, because sometimes you will get into some good music, or a good book. And this is really good death metal. This might have been my first, it was either this or Surgical Steel, that Carcass album, that was my first death metal album that I've tried. But this is great, really enjoy it, catchy riffs. I mean, as the name implies, grave and death metal. This does feel like you're going through the bowels of hell. It's quite a short listen, but I think I'd recommend this as like a sort of starter death metal album. Got me into death metal quite a bit. I mean, yeah, the group Death, I know a lot of people would probably recommend too, but you know, I recommend this album too. It's called Endless Procession of Souls. Something to play with your gran. So we're going from Grave to Grave Diggers, and this is an awesome album. This is what a lot of people would say is like the first foray into horrorcore ever made, and I think it's always weird because it's produced by DJ Paul of all people, who most people would know him for his production on De La Soul's music, which is like really carefree and happy, and it's a bit different on here. So, but I love the album cover as well. Even though this is from the mid-90s, some of the production on here is just ridiculously great. And especially my favourite track on here, there's a song on here called Bang Your Head, and I mean, listen to that. That's almost, it's very close to trap metal. I'm not joking. There's so many great tracks on here. 1-800 Suicide. Yeah. Here Come the Grave Diggers is catchy as hell. Constant Elevation. Diary of a Madman's a classic too. Nowhere to Run, Nowhere to Hide. This is an essential hip-hop album. It's got a lot of humour to it, you know, as well. It's not all just like macabre, serious stuff or anything like that. So I think it's good gym music too. Okay, quick talk about a couple albums by Green Day. And talking about groups who, I used to own this album, I used to own that album. I'm not joking, I owned another probably at least 5 or 6 albums by Green Day. And I think just your typical Green Day listener, just don't take care of their CDs, because all of their CDs I've always gotten them pre-owned at a charity shop or somewhere like that. And I'm not joking, 6 out of 8 albums I'll have bought by them don't work. They skip. You can't rip them. They're just terribly shoddy and just bad condition. So all you Green Day listeners, take care of your CDs, alright? You don't see me like pissing about with my CDs or records. I take good care of my records, alright? So yeah, I'm left with 2 albums, but you know, 2 albums that are still really good. It's Kaplunk and Dookie. My sister used to have a huge poster of this album cover, so as well as obviously playing it quite a bit too. So I've got a lot of memories of this. Typical ones like Basket Case, Out for D, Coming Clean, Chump, Longview, Welcome to Paradise. And I'm not joking, I had probably like another 5 or 6 albums by them, and they've just disappeared. Warning, American Idiot, Nimrod, Insomniac. I had loads, and because of people not taking care of the CDs, I had to just give them away. I chucked them out, give it to some other poo sod who tried to play it and it didn't work. So Green Day listeners, look after your CDs. Okay, you know what, that wasn't a mistake. I intended to break that, okay? It's actually like what do you call those life hacks? To quickly open a CD, you just need to do that. Easy as that. Alright? More top tips for you, everybody. Last album I'm going to be talking about is Gris. French group. This is depressive, suicidal black metal. Yeah, shouldn't be saying it like that. Yeah, this is music which, yes, you will have to be in the, is it the right frame of mind or would it be the wrong frame of mind? But it's still extremely powerful music, very euphoric. It's pretty much what I look into and why I enjoy black metal or extreme metal, because I want that sort of heavy, sort of just something about it that just makes you feel good, something cathartic, you know. And this is actually very musically diverse too. I don't know why the logo looks like a pair of testicles, but who knows. To be fair, the singers sometimes sound like what happens when you kick someone in the testicles, so that might be the reason why. But yeah, this is great. I've got it's actually, it'll be in the way far distant future. I've got another group which is depressive suicidal black metal. So look forward to that, everybody. Hey. And this has one of the main classics, Lemonade. But as well as that, the whole album is it's just nuts. True story, when I first put it on when I was at the gym, I had to switch it off because I looked like a nutcase, even more so, because I was laughing too much. The first track is literally operatic singers going, Gucci, Gucci. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Oh dear, man. But yeah, this is a classic. This is probably one of the better Gucci Mane projects you can listen to. There's one called Trap House 3, which is probably my favourite Gucci Mane album overall, but I mean, that's albums. Like, in terms of mixtapes, he's got so many classics too. So, but in terms of albums, this is the only one I own physically. I don't think Trap House 3 ever came out on CD. But yeah, Gucci Mane, total legend. And actually as well, somewhere I've got an autobiography of Gucci Mane, which I recommend too. So yeah, shout out Gucci Mane, in case you're watching, mate. So thanks very much for watching, everybody. Hope you take care of yourselves, and hopefully, hopefully I'll see you in part H. As well, H in that too. Oh, here's another H. Hurry up and end the fucking video!
Thanks for listening.